understand the difference between translation and transcreation. Translation is the ability to understand somebody else's language, whereas transcreation is the ability to write in your own. What it means that having a source in a different language, you need to be able to reproduce it in a target language so that it sounds as if it was written in a mother tongue of that language. Transcreation also takes into account all sorts of different aspects of the culture that the target market and the target language are prepared for. What it means that the copywriter who works on the piece takes into account all the cultural nuances, references, language, tone, style, idioms, etc. that are important to prepare the copy in a different language so that the audience feels emotionally attached to it, and basically that the copy evokes the same reaction as the source that has been already prepared initially. Copywriters who work on a regular basis on transcreation pieces have an in-depth knowledge of both cultures, so the culture of the source text and the culture of the target text. They're most of all, they are native speakers of the target language that they're working with, but they have a great understanding of the culture of the source text so that they can find similar or same references in their own culture in order to prepare a great transcreation piece. A good example of the right cultural referencing in a transcreation is the biblical phrase, the Lamb of God. Lamb represents innocence. However, in the Eskimo culture, innocence is represented by the seal. Therefore, the Bible is transcreated, the phrase in the Bible is obviously transcreated as the seal of God so that it fits well in the cultural context of Eskimo culture. Also, you would not really see any lambs running around the Arctic Cap, would you? We advise our clients to always produce a creative brief for any project or campaign they're looking to launch. A creative brief is basically a set of information that is necessary for the writer, especially in the target audience, to produce the appropriate transcreation for a particular product brand. It can contain anything about the concept, about the brand, about the purpose of the product and its benefits in that particular target market. The brief is important not only because the writers have to see what they are writing about, so any image references are also more than needed, but also because it gives them an ability to move away from the source text in such a way that they can recreate the target text so that it resembles as if it was written in a mother tongue for the particular target. A good example of it is the phrase click to play. Play as a verb can be translated in various ways depending on what it is followed after. So you can have click to play a game, click to play a video, click to play music, and play as a verb can be rendered differently depending on what it refers to. And if the writer doesn't know the context of the whole phrase, the context of the sentence, or a click to play sits in, they won't be able to translate it appropriately. Clients don't often realize that the more creativity it takes to prepare a source, the more creativity it can take to prepare a target language copy. They often say, oh, we have the source prepared by a copywriter or a creative agency, so we just simply need it to be translated to say the same thing. They forget that translating is simply rendering one language to another, so one set of words into another in order to understand what it says. If they want their product or brand to work well in the target market and with the target audience, they have to make sure that it fits not only in terms of language and how the text is written, but also in the cultural context, as well as any cultural references have to be used so that the audience feels that the copy has actually been written in their mother tongue rather than reproduced from a source text.